and they range in size from the massive emperor penguin that stands 4 foot in height. They come from Antarctica, all the way down to the little blue fairy penguin, which is about this big, 1 foot or 30 centimetres in height. Now they are pocket-sized penguins and they come from Australia. Now I know what you're thinking, Australia? I thought penguins only came from cold, snowy, icy places. Well, you may not have thought that, but many people do. And actually, that's not the case. Penguins can live in hot countries as much as they can freezing cold ones as well. Some penguins come from South Africa, Namibia, Australia, and they can even find them on the equator in the Galapagos Islands. But penguins will only live in the southern hemisphere, so you'll never find them sunbathing on Baffle Beach or living in the North Pole with polar bears.
He's ready for food.
This shows they are incredibly excited today. Now this is a behaviour called porpoising. You can tell why it's called porpoising because the penguins are literally jumping in and out of the water. It's a really good way for these penguins to get up speed, to jump around and basically tell us how excited they are. And I can't blame them, their dinner does look delicious today. Also, they do this a lot at Penguin Beach. The water's nice and deep.
Oh, look at the stuff coming out the bottom there.
So they do like to take advantage of it. Now all these jumping penguins here are Humboldts. They are South American penguins, and the two species we have here at Penguin Beach are both from South America. So these ones, Humboldt penguins, they come from the coastal regions of Peru and Chile. Here they live in a big colony. They make up the majority of our colony. Out in the wild, they'll live in groups of hundreds of birds. Now, the other species of penguin we have is also a South American one. They come from the Falkland Islands. He's a northern rockhopper penguin, and his name is Ricky. Now, if you've seen Happy Feet, you remember a character called Lovelace. Big, massive, orange eyebrows. That is what our Ricky the rockhopper looks like. Now, at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, I believe Ricky is just hiding on his nest behind those rocks. Now, there's a good reason for that, because Ricky has recently undergone a transformation. He's gone through an annual molt where all of his waterproof feathers fell out, and he had to grow back some new ones. So he tended to kind of hide himself away during that time. Ricky's quite a famous penguin, you see. He has a reputation to uphold, and if he can't quite manage it, he'll just hide himself away. Now, just out of interest, has anybody heard of Ricky the Rockhopper here? Yeah, hundreds of people, doesn't surprise me. He is a very famous penguin, and with that comes certain behaviours. He is a massive diva. Ricky is even on Facebook. So if you don't get to see Ricky today, trust me, if you go onto Facebook and search for Ricky the Rockhopper, his cheeky little head will pop up and you can add him as a friend. And you can also find out how life's treating him here at Penguin Beach. Now, penguins as animals are very strange little things, aren't they? They're quite confusing. They are birds. Some people think they're amphibians because they can swim really well in the water and they live on land. Some people even think they're fish because they're so good at swimming. Some think they're mammals, but I can assure you they most definitely are birds. But they have some differences to these flying and cheeky birds we have at Penguin Beach. Now, I am being quite rude. I've forgotten to introduce you. You may have noticed 1 or 2 native birds here at Penguin Beach flying around your head. These are very cheeky, and I like to call them thieves because they live around the local area and come to Penguin Beach only when there is free fish on offer. They have to steal the fish.
That's
from our
funny, so they know that the
penguins'
time's
Now that is why we're feeding our penguins in a couple of different ways. We're trying to prevent these gulls from getting them. So Vicky at the front there is feeding through drain pipes, which looks a little bit odd, but basically the whole point of that is to get the fish nice and deep into the water. You kind of funnel them down. The penguins are great divers, so they can go down to get the fish, but it's too deep for these cheeky little flying birds here. You can see Laura as well is hand feeding some of the penguins. Now, speaking of what they're eating, does anyone know what a penguin's favourite food might be?
Sardines?
No? I've heard a little mumble. I'll tell you what, I'll count to 3 and you can shout out as loud as you can what you think penguins like to eat. Ready? No cheating. 1, 2, 3. Fish! They do fish. They love fish. It makes up 80% of their entire diet. The other 20% is made up of crustaceans, so things like crabs or krill, which is a small shrimp type animal. Particular favourite of penguins. Now I have our penguin expert here, Laura, and I'm going to ask Laura what she's feeding the penguins today. Laura, what kind of fish is that?
Today they're eating Caitlin. It's a small fish, a bit like a sardine.
So, Caitlin, it's about this big, guys, and the penguins love it so much. They eat 30 each every single day. They are fish-eating machines. Now, penguins, over the years, they kind of traded in their flying abilities. Penguins can't fly, but if you look at them in the water, if you saw the way they came from the back of Penguin Beach to the front, you could argue they do kind of swim through the water. So they have some amazing adaptations to help them live a life, an aquatic life, so they can catch as many fish as they can. Now, penguins, like other birds, do have feathers, but penguins have 2 layers. So the inside jumper, whereas the outer layer, this beautiful sleek one here, is like a wetsuit. And our penguins are constantly getting their beaks to preen that top layer to make sure all of those feathers are in line, so there's no chink in their waterproof armour. That means that penguins can dive around for hours on end without getting cold and without getting waterlogged as well. Now, penguins are the deepest diving of all aquatic birds, with these chaps diving about 100 metres and the emperor penguin about 500 metres. Absolutely astonishing depths. Now, when the penguins are in the water, they're like little torpedoes, really. They've got solid bones, which is opposite to these flying birds here, who need to be light. Penguins need to be able to sink. So when they put their wings against their bodies, they dive down to those incredible depths, bringing out their wings just for propulsion, really. Now, the penguins, when they use their wings through the water, use them in the same way that flying birds would. But actually, these little wings have evolved to be more like flippers, propel penguins through the water at speeds of 25 kilometres an hour. They really can go fast, and that's how they can get that amazing porpoising action that you saw earlier. They use their feet like little rudders on a ship so they can change direction at a moment's notice. That's why they can come herring through from the back of Penguin Beach, but we haven't had one hit the glass just yet, because they can change direction very, very quickly, which is obviously important when they are trying to catch very fast swimming fish. Speaking of which, when they catch up with their fish, that fish is in trouble, because on the penguin's face is a serious piece of weaponry. Penguins, like other birds, have beaks, but these beaks are specialised. Now, penguins catch fish, so the beaks have to be incredibly strong. If you imagine the penguins swimming up to the fish, grabbing hold of it, they have to keep hold of that fish the whole time this slippery, wriggly animal is trying to jump out of the penguin's mouth. So they hold on to it, keep hold of it like a vice, they turn the fish round head to tail, because penguins are very particular about the way they eat, and they swallow the entire fish without getting any bones stuck in their throat. Oh, did you guys see that? Now, that does bring me to my next point. These flying birds are not only thieves, they are disgusting little creatures that sometimes let rip. Now, if you find that you're in a splash zone, and I've demonstrated that, I've trained that girl to do that, by the way, over the last few weeks. No, I'm only joking. If you do find that you are in the splash zone of a goal, don't worry, because it's very lucky to be hit by bird poo. We all know that. But to be hit by bird poo at Penguin Beach is doubly lucky, because I have some stickers in the drawer over there that say, I got hit by poo at ZSL London Zoo. So if you don't get hit by poo today, come and find me, show me the evidence, and if it is more tragic than what just happened to me, I'll give you a sticker for it. Now, penguins, we all agree, are fantastic animals. They are supreme at catching their food, and they have some incredible adaptations. Hopefully today, guys, you have seen just how brilliant our penguins are. With this camouflage, the black and white, they sneak up on their fish without the fish even noticing. It's too late, and then they grab them with those incredible beaks. Now, we feed our penguins twice a day here at Penguin Beach, 1:30 and then again at 4:30. And you know what, if you come back at 4:30, you'll see the same kind of behaviour from these guys, because they love their fish. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about our penguins,